and welcome to Simple Solutions Diva. I'm Laura Mori, and today I'm putting Pinterest to the test. I know you've seen them on Pinterest, these gorgeous shots of wooden pallets that were turned into vertical gardens. Well, I've always thought it was a great project and I really wanted to do it. So I started looking at the different websites that featured this. Well, I found a lot of great photos, but not a lot of instruction. So I thought I would give you my best tips on putting one of these things together. So join me and I'll take you hopefully step by step through the process. The first step in this project is to just assemble all of your materials. First off, you want to get a wooden pallet. I was lucky enough, my neighbor happened to be doing some yard work and had pallets left over. I snagged one of those for free, so I got off to a good start. The next thing you want to do is you want to get a good staple gun. I'll be honest with you, this is the first time I have ever used a staple gun. I'm kind of embarrassed I've reached this age. Anyway, you want to also get the appropriate staples to go with it. Just your regular staples will not work. So I got 1/4 inch staples so that they will go deep into the wood, but not too deep that they're poking out on the other side. So staple gun and the appropriate staples. Next up, you want to get garden fabric. The garden fabric I went out, this is believe it or not, a frost blanket. It's a really thin material. I got it at Home Depot. And what I use it for, since I live in Florida, I wanted to have some outdoor garden fabric that was going to hold water perhaps a little bit more than your regular, extremely lightweight. So I got frost blanket. The next thing you want to have is scissors, because you're going to cut this to create pockets within the wooden pallet to hold your various plants. I am taking the 2 pieces of fabric that I've cut here. I've created a generous cut of fabric, so it's larger than the space that I'm trying to create a pocket for. I'm using double the fabric because, again, I want it to be able to support the plants, the potting soil, and the water that's eventually going to go into this little pocket. So what I'm doing is I am lining up the top of one side with the top of my space in my palette. And I hope you can see that well. I am going to use my handy dandy staple gun. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to staple into the wooden pallet. You're always going to want to be careful that you don't stick your hand behind the wooden pallet where you're going to staple, just in case there's a problem. I haven't done that yet. Hopefully I won't. There we go. So I've got 3 staples here. I'm going to do one more over here. And there. I'm going to do the same thing by creating this pocket. When I push the fabric into here, I'm going to want to make sure that it doesn't pop out underneath, because you want this to be visually appealing. You may not have plants that come all the way up here and hide a droopy pocket, so to speak. So you want to just make sure that it does not go below the bottom of your palette area. There we go. And we're going to staple on the inside here as well. Next step is called improvisation. You're going to have to improvise based on how you've attached your pocket to the inside of your palette. My best way I did it is I've taken the end and I fold it over and then I just tuck it on the inside. It doesn't have to be pretty because it's going to be hidden by dirt and plants. So you just want to make sure you get it down there below the edge of the palette so you don't see the fabric sticking out. And once again, you get in there and you just use your power tool, woman power tool. There we go. And I am just doing enough staples so I feel that I have gotten this fabric secure, and once we get some heavier materials in here, the potting soil, the plants, and water, the whole thing's not going to collapse. So I'm just going to go through here. I'm just going to reinforce all around and make sure that I have enough staples in there that will really hold the plants together. I just wanted to give you a close-up shot of what it looks like on the inside of this pocket. As you can see, it ain't that pretty. I've folded over the edges inside the pocket. I've stapled it down so it really will be secure and be able to hold all the plants and the potting soil. No one's going to see it looking this rough, but you. As long as it's secure to hold that weight, it's all good. Well, that is it. Creating a wooden pallet into prepping it for a vertical garden. And I'll tell you, this whole project took me about an hour and a half to do. Here are my top suggestions. 1, make sure you give yourself enough space, enough room to work. You're going to have to lay out the pallet. 2, pre-cut your pockets, your fabric that you're going to use in there. It really does help a lot. And you're going to have to improvise a little bit with this because every pallet, I'm finding out, is very different. So you may have 2 small little pockets you have to create, or like down at the bottom, I have 1 long pocket I have to create for it. So every pallet is different. So the key really is improvisation. Don't worry about what it looks like on the inside if it's not pretty. It doesn't have to be. And it does not have to be perfect. This is meant to be something that is just a fun project. Add a little visual interest to your backyard or your garden or even your patio. I hope you like it. I hope you get out there and try it. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next week on SimpleSolutionsDiva.com.